and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos.
What a greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwa. Cecilia, another big night of European football. We saw fireworks in the UEFA Champions League. Are we going to see the same in the Europa League tonight? I know quite a number of English Premier League teams are busy out there, and I'll be monitoring and bringing live updates on the show tonight.
Obviously, we will be having that. Lots of fireworks, but not for Liverpool with that loss. I mean, 26% ball possession, no shots on target. Okay, we'll be talking about the UEFA Champions League, what went down on our European segment, what went down last night in Europe in the first leg quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. We'll talk about that on the show during our European football segment. And also, yes, take a look at NWFL, all the games decided on Wednesday in the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership. You have FC Robo Queens still locked in. I mean, they've clocked it, just locked down that position in Group B. They don't want to let it go at all. We'll talk about them on the show tonight. And also, yes, Sporting Lagos are on the verge. Just one more game, and they will be back in the Nigeria Premier Football League. They will be back if they are able to beat Osun United next week. And of course, they will be back in the NPFL after 2 seasons away from that. Inter Lagos already booked a spot in the NPFL for next season. We'll be talking about that club. And of course, FIFA have released the list of match officials for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in Mexico, Canada, and of course, USA. And guess what? No Nigerian referee. As usual, in this one, Qatar, there was none, but we have 6 women in it, the same 6 we had in 2022, no improvement in that aspect. That's why having about 58 referees that was added compared to 41 in the last World Cup. We'll also be talking about all the referees that were added, 7 from Somalia to Egypt, well, to South Africa, and to Morocco. They are all locked in for this World Cup. But there is none from Nigeria. We'll have the list of the 7 African referees that will be going to the World Cup this year for you on the show. And of course, Patrice Motsepe continuing his visit to the 2 countries that played in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations 2025, and this time around he's in Morocco at the moment. We'll give you updates on what happened in Morocco tomorrow, but we'll give you updates on what happened in Senegal last night. After he met with the president of the country, a lot of questions were asked. You will hear from him on the show tonight, what he had to tell them. And of course, from the grassroots level, we'll be talking about the Prosperity Cup in Bayelsa State. 27 female team will be jostling for about 20 million naira in this year's edition when it gets underway April 16. These and many more on the show tonight. So keep it locked down. We're right here for you on Sport Tonight. And I have a guest in the studio. Boluwaji Jagada is right here with me. He's a sport journalist joining me on the show tonight. Boluwaji, it's great to have you join me.
Always a pleasure to be here. Good evening to you, and good to be here.
Austin, let's start off with Prosperity Cup. Yes, I know you're big on this when it comes to grassroots football. And this time around, yes, I'm happy that they are bringing the women into it. Imagine having 27 women's team for a tournament like this.
Cecilia, that's massive, that's progress. Because we'll talk about the Prosperity Cup, and I think in the last 3 or 4 editions, the women just only come to play the finals. Maybe we see them from quarterfinals or semifinals and they play final. But now they are into the conversation, and that's what makes it special. This is the 8th edition of the Prosperity Cup, and we've said that this one has the power, to develop, unite communities. And that's why I like the consistency. And now that they've brought in 27 female teams to come into the conversation, 20 million prize money. I'm not really big on the prize money. But the fact that they are now seeing the need to, promote inclusion, Cecilia, very, very important, And then the 27 teams we play in 4 different centers in Bansia, Swali, Bishop, Demary Grammar School, BDGS, and the Government House Golf Field in Onokpa. This was the draw that was done for it. But look, Boluwaji, I've said it over and over again that for us to start developing sports in Nigeria, the states must get busy. And Bayelsa State, time and time again, they are showing us that, look, we can lead the way. They are using this year's Prosperity Cup to celebrate Bayelsa at 30. And I love the fact that now they are giving attention to the women. Get ready, Bielsa Queens might just become a bigger team than we know them to be.
Yeah, I agree with you, Austin. I mean, it's a great initiative from the Bayelsa state government to actually bring about this concept, involving the ladies, all inclusive, like you said. I mean, very soon, in the coming years, all of these ladies, from the grassroots, will be playing for the national team, or starting with the club side right there in Bayelsa, talking about Bayelsa Queens. And yeah, it's a great initiative, and this is just the way to go. We always say that the state government have to stick to developing football right there at the grassroots in their different states, so that at least we can, praise them to high heavens, and of course see those talents, those quality at the national level, and of course on the international scene.
That's really what we want to see. And on 16th of April, defending champions Afinin ladies will face Bayelsa Queens feeders team. I'll say that again, the feeders team. So when Bayelsa Queens wins, maybe the NWFL again, they are defending champions in NWFL. When they win it again at Super 6, you understand why they are grooming talent, because they have a feeders team and they are currently competing. They will be competing in the Prosperity Cup in this year's edition, which is a good one. They are kicking off that on April 16. That will be at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenagoa. And I'm also happy that Bayelsa State is one of those states that are building a big stadium. Hopefully when it's completed, and they said they want it to be FIFA standard, it should be FIFA standard. So many Niger Delta University also are part of those that will be playing this Prosperity Cup here. Bayelsa Princesses, you also have Ndu Queens, Dombai Queens, Active Ladies, Police Machine, remember them? They used to be in NWFL at a particular time. But you just see pictures here. That's where we are going to right now at the moment. Let's leave Prosperity Cup. The draws have been done, and when the tournament starts, we'll definitely bring you updates on this show. You saw pictures of CAF President Patrice Motsepe embracing, the Senegalese President Faye. Now, what he is saying after that, he says he would encourage an investigation into corruption at the organization. So last one, remember when Senegal said they are demanding scrutiny, that they need to look at CAF and see the level of corruption in it after the appeal committee awarded the trophy that they won to Morocco 2 months after. So they weren't happy. And so what for CAF President Motsepe, he has said that he will welcome investigation. Of course, whatever CAF decided, he will not interfere. So he's fully in support of what Senegalese are doing. And I know what he's going to say after, when he meets with the Moroccans and the outcome of that. I guess by tomorrow or later tonight, we should be hearing updates from that. But let's just listen to him, hear from him directly what he said after his visit to Senegal.
Those issues are in front of CAS, the Court of Arbitration for football, and whatever decision comes out of CAS, we will all respect. We will respect as CAF, and we will implement. But those issues are issues that are behind us now. All of us, Morocco, Senegal, the 54 nations in Africa, must focus on developing football in our countries, on the continent. Whatever decision comes out of CAS, we will respect them. And I'm confident from this meeting that despite the challenges we have, and sometimes the challenges are an important foundation for us to recommit and to re-emphasize our commitment to work together and to grow. And all of us, as I said, must now focus. The judgment will come, and whatever that judgment will be, we will come out stronger and more united, and we'll move forward. And the focus for us now is the World Cup, and African football will grow and be stronger than ever before. Because I can tell you, whilst I'm president of CAF, we will never conceal any corruption. And I'll tell you why. Because it is more important. Let me put it this way. Corruption is worse than COVID. Corruption is worse than illnesses is worse than cancer. The biggest problem, not just in football, because I've been told that there's been lots of problems in the past and corruptions and we intervened, but we can't set a bad example in football to give our children the perception that if you want to succeed in life, be corrupt. The best gift we can give football in Africa, and not just talking about corruption, but intervene, put the necessary laws, implement them.
All right, Austin and Boluaji will react to that after this short break. Corruption is worse than COVID and cancer, coming from CAF President Patrice Motsepe. Austin, over to you. His visit to Senegal, meeting with the Federation President and even the President of the country, and of course, obviously, next he should be meeting with the Moroccan counterpart at the moment, or maybe later at night, or maybe, but today, immediately after that, he had to travel to Morocco to also meet with them. We haven't heard anything happening from there. What do you think this visit will really do to these two countries that are literally or technically at war at the moment, war of football?
You know, I listened to Patrice Motsepe, and sincerely, I don't feel for him, and I don't see any effect in the things he's saying. The final of the AFCON was it played January 19th or 20th? I think it was 20th. This talk that he's having today in Senegal, he should have done that talk before the final of the AFCON in Morocco. Right there, Rabat. Then it would have had meaning, you know. Now he's just trying to do some good PR. And I keep telling officials of football, not just officials of football, people who are holding important public positions, public relations doesn't do a good job in solving problems. It does a good job in avoiding problems, you know. So all of this he's doing now is because he's so scared that it will demarket the Confederation of African Football. The AFCON will not have the credibility that it is known for. Everything that they have built in the last 5 to 10 years has already been, you know, destroyed by that verdict by the appeals board of the Confederation of African Football. I heard him say we should focus on developing football on the continent. Yes, but it starts with administration, because everything rises and falls on leadership. It starts with CAF. CAF should take politics of our football. That's the only way we're going to get that development that he was talking about. And he went on to tell them right there, the Senegalese government and officials at this meeting with Patrice Motsepe, they were just being diplomatic. Otherwise, they would have just, you know, walked out on him when he said whatever the judgment will come out stronger and more united. These people won on the pitch. And the football rule, Boluaji, states that the referee's decision is final. You took their trophy, you watered down their superiority as champions of Africa, and now you're telling them that whatever the judgment, they will come out stronger and more united. And he went on to say corruption is worse than cancer. Boluaji, maybe CAF is suffering from cancer.
That's a strong one.
I mean, that's actually a strong one. But again, I mean, since when you became, CAF president in 2021, and you've preached about, modern governance of African football, and of course talk about accountability, and we've seen a little, positive of all of the works you've done, and it comes to what happened at the last AFCON final. I think it doesn't make sense, and it actually puts, AFCON on bad light. It's a bad image for African football, it must be said. And I mean, every time we say, talk is cheap. When you became president, these are the things you said. So action speaks louder than voice. And if you cannot at this point, put things in perspective. I mean, I can't remember the last time I watched an AFCON final and witnessed all of that bad image. I mean,
has it ever happened before? Because you're saying you can't remember the last time. Has it ever happened
I mean,
before?
ever since I've been watching. I mean, I've not, even in history, I've not heard of any.
Because you say you can't remember the last time. So
I mean,
wondering, have you seen it before?
Maybe it has not happened, at some point. But in the end, it's not something to actually be proud of. I mean, he can come out and say that, corruption is bigger than cancer and all of that. But again, your actions speak more. You have to walk the talk. I mean, walk the talk, and so that we don't come back to this in the next AFCON.
I hope we don't. I just hope it rests here,
Exactly.
so we'll be able to breathe, because this is not what we want to talk about. I love the fact that we are resting this is at cast. Once a case is at cast, so we respect that until that decision is final. And I hope and pray that the decision is taken soon, so we move away from this and start looking forward to 2027 that will be hosted by 3 countries in East Africa. So we have to rest this year. Austin, you have something to add to Patrice Motsepe, because I mean, you were really strong
maybe
on
because
this,
I was
really.
right there, I saw all of the
how
shenanigans at the
can be.
AFCON. And we kept saying that, look, this thing should be nipped in the bud. CAF allowed a lot of the things that Morocco did, to get out of the way, and that was them putting horns on the monster, and in the final, the monster had to, display. So I just hope that they win with this, but it's already tough, because just try and imagine if CAF rule in favor of Morocco. Cecilia, you know the rest.
Yeah, we know what will happen, right? Okay, let's leave African football and quickly. Yes, we'll stay with Africa, because we're going to be looking at the 52 referees for the World Cup, including 6 women and 7 from Africa. As I mentioned in my opening, out of the 7 from Africa, from Somalia to Egypt to Morocco to Gabon to Mauritania, there is none from Nigeria. So we'll take a look at that list right now, and then in the Premier League, we have 2 popular referees, those referees that make headlines anytime a team play the game. Those on the losing side, or those that benefit from them. There's some referees that usually make headlines. As I'm talking, I know most of you already understand where I'm going to, right? Can you guess these 2 referees that are part of the 52 referees for the World Cup? Okay, all right. Michael Oliver and Anthony Taylor. Austin understands what I'm talking about. So these referees make headlines in the Premier League, but 2 of them are part of the 52 referees for the World Cup. Once it's displayed on the screen, we'll take a look at the names from Africa. Now, 52 referees, you have 88 assistant referees, 30 video match officials from 6 confederations, and 50 member associations. So let's take a look at it. You have their pictures and also their names and where they are coming from. Now let's start from the one from Senegal, Omar Abdoukader Atan. He's from Senegal. He will be officiating at the FIFA World Cup in June, July. Dahame Badia from Mauritania. He's also part of those that will be at this year's World Cup. We have Mustafa Choba from Algeria. He's also one of those referees for the World Cup. Now you have Amin Mohammed from Egypt. He's right here. And Amungele Tom from South Africa is also part of it. And Pierre Ancho from Gabon. So these are the referees. We have one more from Somalia, making it 7 referees that have been selected for this year's World Cup. And as you can see, no Nigerian right here, for the World Cup. I know this is not a surprise. We'll be having it. But if you can have Anthony Taylor and Michael Oliver, at the World Cup, we can actually get a Nigerian referee at the World Cup. Okay. Yeah, we don't use VAR here in Nigeria, so we know that's the reason, because you need competency.
Yes.
You need those who have experience, who have used these things before for you to get them. Now, this is more like a challenge to the authorities in Nigeria, not just Nigerian Football Federation alone. I think the National Sports Commission will also have to come in here. Have facilities where you can have VAR at the stadium, so these referees can have the experience, and we can talk about them, going to the World Cup. So because if you do not have these things, there is no way you're going to have referees from Nigeria officiating, because they're not going to go there to start afresh. These guys already experienced. They were selected from a pool of so many referees. So at the moment now, you need, these guys. But we need to go on a break.
Ja, 3 times in a row. Nothing for you, my manchi.
If it's sure for you, run am again.
Make we bet.
Win big on Betano Casino. Register today and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira plus 100 free spins. Make we bet. Betano.
Welcome back. Before we get into European segment, a quick one from you, Austin. 41 match officials were at the last World Cup in Qatar. You were there, right? 6 women were also part of it. But this time you also have 6 women. There's no improvement in that. But we have 7 referees from Africa. So that's an improvement.
And the major conversation from that list of African referees is that the referee that officiated the final of the 2025 AFCON was snubbed. Jean-Jacques Ndala from Congo. And that is what I'm saying, Cecilia. That AFCON final has done so much harm to football in Africa. So FIFA would look at it and like, oh, look, we don't know one controversy, you know? And so it was dropped off. If a top referee, as in Ndala, that officiated the final of the AFCON is missing from the FIFA World Cup, then it does no good, you know, to officiating in Africa. Puts a big question mark on our integrity and professionalism. And that's why I'm not listening to Patrice Motsepe, because this could have been avoided. But hey, lessons on the road for us to see if we can learn from them and use it for the benefit of football development in Africa.
Just imagine, I mean, in Côte d'Ivoire, you know, the whole world actually praised us. That was, you know, 2020. Just imagine, you know, judging from that, that's when there was a World Cup. I believe we would have had some of those referees, you know, actually, you know, at this World Cup. But hey, Morocco happened, and things happened, and then, what do you think?
Yeah, it feels like a setback from that Côte d'Ivoire AFCON, because we really praised the African ref to high heavens, the great job they did. There was at no point there was controversy. And, you know, if you compare that to what we had at the last AFCON, despite all the numbers, I mean, it's really a setback for African football, and Motsepe has to work, like, he has to come. Because, again, if you look at what the ref did in Dala here at the final, I mean, he followed the rule, you know, to the latter.
Yeah.
Follow the route to the latter and try to save the name, because apparently, if you look at it critically, I mean, he could have just called off the game almost immediately when the Senegalese players went into the dressing room. But he decided to wait on and, you know, still try to, you know, save what is left. But still, if we are not part of the refs going to the World Cup, and it's quite bad.
Yeah, it's question mark. Okay, these are the referee, again, selected African referees for the World Cup, 7 of them. And we're going to be having 104 matches. Well, 48-team lineup, 104 matches. That's the biggest. So the officiating list you're having, 41 more that we had in Qatar 2022. It's expanding, so the officials definitely will be expanded. So these officials are expected to train, you know, be in the US on time and train, you know, various things they need to go through for about some weeks. I think some weeks where they'll have to train and perfect all the things they need to do before the World Cup will kick off in June. All right, let's leave that and quickly go to our European football segment. And of course, you know, the breaking news coming from Barcelona is the fact that they've lodged complaints against with UEFA over handball decision in that game against Atletico Madrid.
The European football segment is brought to you by Betano, the ultimate online betting experience.
Make we bet. Betano.
So let's start off with what happened between PSG and Liverpool. I mean, Austin, when you have one team playing, I expected Liverpool to be wiped up to 5-0, but Ousmane Dembele happened, a hat-trick of misses. Remember what happened in 2019? Barcelona were 3 goals up. They needed to score to just make it 4, and of course, Ousmane Dembele ballooned the ball. Messi was upset. If they had won that game 4-0, just maybe in the return leg where Jurgen Klopp's side overturned that deficit for them to make it to the final, beat Tottenham and won the assist title in 2019, that wouldn't have happened. Now, this one, I'm looking at this. Yes, that Liverpool then is different from the Liverpool we are having. But the misses of Ousmane Dembele last night may just come back to haunt them, because 2-0 is still very tiny. That's not a tidy win, I would say.
It is. It's dicey, but with the Liverpool that we've seen, are they there mentally? Do they look like the sort of team that can put up a fight? They look like they are down and out, and it showed in the statistics of that game. They were poor with possession, they were poor with positional play, and they had no shots on target. So that's why PSG, if they go back and have a look at that, it was like, this should have been a 4-0, a 5-0. I hear Liverpool fans on local media here, Cecilia, saying that they were so poor, but they were not battered the way Chelsea were battered, some bats out there. Yeah, but it was still a win for PSG. I don't really agree that Dembele, happened. Football happened, and maybe that's the result that football wants, PSG to take to Liverpool and then put up a good fight. But shout out to Liverpool. At the end of the day, considering just 2, they want to look at themselves and say, maybe this is also the result that they will need to turn things around when they play the second leg in Liverpool. Let's listen to Coach Enrique talking about that big win. For them, it's a big win because it puts them in the driving spot for the second leg. But can Liverpool turn it around? Luis Enrique on the show tonight.
I cannot analyze the other teams. Every time has to choose as a manager the way he tries to play. I think Liverpool is one of the teams who plays better. They use the set pieces also in the same way, but this is not our style. We try to play the best football. We try to have fun with our supporters, trying to show them the way we play its offensive way, trying to create superiority in every part of the pitch, and that's our idea, that's our mentality. We never choose players by if they are tall or short. We try to play in our style. Yeah, I can not judge the other teams. That's the difference. But I think Liverpool is a little bit different. Other teams in the Premier League who try to play all the time long and all the time with set pieces. But anyway, we are happy the way we play, and we are happy because our supporters are happy.
Their supporters are happy, and of course they are happy. I feel for him, Austin. I mean, Liverpool were not just negative; they were, they were passive. Defensively, I don't know, they were not there. They offered nothing, and then 26% ball possession, and PSG had 744 passes. Liverpool had 253. So that's how painful it can be. I mean, they had 3 shots, none on target, compared to PSG who had 18 that they on shots. I mean, and then they had 2 on target. So it tells you how frustrating it can be for Luis Enrique when he wanted the team to come out and play. But he didn't really see that. He didn't enjoy the game at all. But what's important is they had fun and they won.
For a team that struggled all the season, how exactly do you expect them to come out and play?
This is the Champions League.
It's the Champions League.
Champions.
They played Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur have not recorded a win this year. And they were struggling. Now you're playing a very good side in PSG who has got all the quality in this world. I mean, you don't want to come out. You don't want to come out. You don't want to come out because, again, if you look at what happened between PSG and Chelsea in the reverse fixture, I mean, you don't want to, Liverpool has to respect them and just sit back. I mean, don't embarrass us here, right there in France. But again, I mean, it's a face for Liverpool. I think maybe the manager will have to go at the end of the season because it doesn't look like a side that can take them back to the glory days. And for PSG, I mean, they're riding so high. Yeah. And they're doing fantastically well. I understand his own frustration. I mean, you can't be playing the ball around trying to create chances and the other side is just sitting back. I mean, there's no space then. You just have to, sometimes you get frustrated on the touchline, and I understand that. But again, I think they will pull through at the end of it all in the second leg.
Yeah, and for Anslot, he says that they were well beaten. That's the admission. He admitted that they were well beaten. Well beaten, but they chopped just 2. Imagine Chelsea that got 82 over 2 legs. You understand that? I mean, the possession was crazy. But the problem is, Mo Salah was left on the bench and did not feature at all. Isak, of course, late substitute. I mean, that's the guy that they spent £125 million on. But let's listen to Anslot talking after that game. Obviously, he is disappointed, looking forward to the second leg and see if they can do the magic of what Jurgen Klopp did in the semi-final for them to beat PSG 4-0, and they went on to reach the final when they leave their 6th title in 2019.
Yeah, of course, that's not the plan. Of course, you think you can do better, and when you press them high, you can force them to mistakes. But I think the way you describe it is maybe the perfect way to describe it. We were in survival mode for large parts of the game, and but maybe also in the period of the season where we're in survival mode. So to try to say to find ways where we can try to make sure that their qualities are not seen that much, but that's really, really, really hard against this team, because last season over here we were in survival mode as well. But as I said, Paris Saint-Germain was the better team, but we didn't give up, and that's why we have a chance now still in this tie, because they kept us alive by not scoring a few open chances. Yes, of course there is. I think in football has shown so many times that everything is possible. I think it was 10, 15, 20 minutes after the game when I watched at my phone and I saw Atletico beating Barcelona at home 0-2 because of a red card. So in football, red cards, incidents, penalties, yes or no. And don't forget that Anfield can do a lot, because I was sitting after the away game at Galatasaray in front of most of the same journalists who were also not very positive about our game. And 1 week later at Anfield, we played probably the best game of the season. So our fans do make a big difference for us. But that's also needed, because I think it was completely clear today that that we need our fans more than ever if we face this Paris Saint-Germain team.
Interesting take. When you have just 9 touches in the opposition box, I mean, that tells a whole lot, the story of Liverpool. Austin, can you turn into around, or we just move straight to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid? You sure they can actually do something at Anfield or what?
No, they can actually, you know, and he said it there that since PSG didn't, you know, finish off some of their open chances, then maybe they want them to do something. But let's talk about Barcelona 0, Atletico Madrid 2. What a beautiful game of football. I say that because when Julian Alvarez struck that stun, I was like, wow, what's going on? But now, after the action, the reaction is really getting us talking. Barcelona, they have said, look, UEFA, investigate your referee. Referee is Van Kovacs. They said, why didn't you consult your video assistant referee? Who was that video assistant referee? Christian Denget. Now, these guys, Denget and Kovacs, they are very experienced referees. So they said, goalkeeper started play, and the defender stopped it with his hand to play again. That violates the current rule of the game. So why didn't you consult the video assistant referee to have a look at it? Barcelona, they're arguing that after all, when Kabassi did what he did, you went to the video assistant referee and then you sent him off. So why didn't you do the same thing for that? And they protested it actually in that game. So yes, Cecilia, video assistant referee, Boluwaji just always finds a way to get into the conversation whenever we just want to talk about football on the field.
I mean, officiating is one of those things, very crucial for any football game across, you know, the planet. And I mean, Barcelona, they have every right to actually, you know, lodge a complaint about that. But again, I mean, the football on the pitch is more important for me because, again, what exactly did you do on the pitch with a man, down? How exactly did you approach the game? Were you focused on your system than just defending and just reducing Atletico Madrid to scoring at least a goal so you can have a very big chance in the second leg? But they didn't do all of that. They decided to play their eye line and, they considered another goal in the process of all of that. So, yeah, they can hopefully, I don't know how exactly the decision from UEFA will actually change, the game in their direction going into the second leg. I don't know, maybe a magic or a miracle. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't see so much in it.
Boluwaji and Cecilia, this is what Barcelona they're trying to do. It's all mind games now, you know, because their complaints, they say that it's of grave lack of VAR intervention. That's what their complaint is tied around. Grave lack of VAR intervention. So that in that second leg at the Metropolitano Stadium, any small team pull for Barcelona, but it's not going to work that way. Let's listen to Hansi Flick. He is fuming over the non-response of VAR in that loss to Atletico Madrid.
The first goal, we have to defend much better. We have the big chance to get in 2-1 against one situation, the ball. We miss this, and then they get the red card, and directly then the first goal for Atletico. The VAR was very focused today for Atletico, so it's like that. He's a German guy, thanks to Germany. And I don't know what happens in the situation when the goalkeeper starts the game and the defender stop it with the hand and then play again. It's for me a clear red card, or double yellow, and there's a red card and penalty. And maybe it changed totally different, but I think they can explain it why it was not like this. So it's like that. We have to accept that, I think, and this is what maybe I'm a little bit longer now, because I think we played good in the first half and also in the second half. With one player less, we give everything. So today we were not lucky. But at the end, we are looking for the next game in Atletico. We are positive. And we'll fight. We will give everything. So it's not done yet, and I know it's far away, maybe for the semi-final, but we have a chance, and we will try. We try everything.
Yeah, Barcelona, they're requesting that they listen to the communications between the referee and the video assistant referee. Cecilia, this is football. I don't know, but do you think Barcelona, they've got a case?
Yeah, I think so, because in 2024, Aston Villa and Club Brugge, this same incident happened. It was Tyrone Mings that it happened to, and he was punished for that. Maybe because the VAR didn't review this, and that's why they are really upset. And VAR actually checked when Diego Simeone's son, was fouled, and they checked that, and the card was given. So he should have also gone ahead to check this one. It happened in Africa Cup of Nations final. Referee concluded the game, and some people made an appeal, and of course they overturned the referee decision and they gave it. So it happened right in January, and so in 2 months after, they got a verdict. So if they are fast enough, they might just get a verdict, as Joker said. But we're going to end the European segment here. But before we end it, Austin, just a quick one coming from Europa League updates. Nottingham Forest, and of course, FC Porto, because we are Nigerian interest there, is 1-0. And the goal by Nottingham Forest, that's the best own goal I've ever seen since I started watching football.
Martin Fernandez, that's own goal in the 13th minute, 2 minutes after FC Porto took the lead through William Gomez, So it's still 1-1 in that match between FC Porto and Nottingham Forest. 79th minute already gone. Let's go to the one that I'm monitoring right in front of me. 82 minutes already played. Ouch, what an effort right there from Boyogna. It's Boyogna 0, Aston Villa 2. What happened? Big goal as soon as second half, commenced in that one. Konsa, before the break, gave Aston Villa the lead. Goalkeeper read it wrongly. Came out, tried to deal with the ball, but he failed to deal with it. And Konsa with a free header gave Villa the lead. When second half began in the 51st minute, only Watkins, what a finish. Fantastic striker, doubled the lead for Aston Villa, and now it looks like they are cruising to victory. But hey, it's football where anything can happen. 83rd minute now. The game between Freiburg and Celta Vigo, Freiburg 3, Celta Vigo 0. I think that one is done and dusted.
Yeah, looking like it, but you never can tell when it comes to European football. We've seen greater things happen, overturning 3-0 deficits and win 4-0. Football, anything is possible. So we end that here, and after this short break, we'll move over to Sporting Lagos. They're on the verge of getting into NPFL again.
The European football segment is brought to you by Betano, the ultimate online betting experience.
Make we bet. Betano.
All right, let's take a look at Sporting Lagos. They're moving closer to the Nigerian Premier League Football League. They won 1-0 over Rovers FC right here in Lagos. That's Calabar Rovers. And of course, with that, they just have one more game, and that's against Osun United. That's the last game for them before they go into the playoffs. But then they need a win to gain promotion. Aqua United are also, the chance of also getting promotion to the NPFL. Where can they actually do this? That was the goal right there. Alex Lemon scored that winning goal in the 25th minute, and this is what's actually meant to them. Just 25 minutes, they were already celebrating, thinking this might just be it, but that was the only goal that was scored. And this one is keeping them just on the just a slim, all they need, just get a win in the next one, and then they are up in the top flight.
Yeah, very important for them. They find a way to do it. I think the players were very nervous, in the last home game. But again, they find a way to get a goal in the first half and ensure that, they kept it close and, of course, get all 3 points. And, like you said, going to the final game of the season, crucially, right there in Osun next week, it's important to get all 3 points because, Aqua United will also do what they need to do, play the game and, find a way to get it because their opponents are not actually, doing well as well. So they're going to put in all their best, very best into that. But for Sporting, in as much as they are top of the log with a point gap, I think they are just condemned to win.
They're condemned to win and get back into NPFL. Let's see what's going to happen next week. 16th April, that's when they will be playing Osun United. All right, let's leave Sporting Lagos and quickly go to NWFL. We're wrapping up the show match day 14. We'll take a look at the results, and also you see the standings, the top 3 and the bottom 3. But starting off with Group A, where Rivers Rangers were 3-0 winners over Adamawa Queens. Bayelsa Queens also same scoreline over Ibom Rangers. Nigeria Rattles lost at home in Abuja to Ekiti Queens. Ekiti Queens winning by 2-1. Heartland Queens and Pacesetters sharing a point right there. In Group B, we'll quickly go to that one where FC Robo, away from home, they got a point. Let's take a look at Group B results quickly. We'll take a look at that one before we look at the top 3 and the bottom 3. Osun Babes and Confluence Queen. Osun Babes winning by a lone goal. Now, this was the biggest win in the NWFL match day 14. 8 goals were scored here. Danas Ladies with 5 different scorers against Delta Queens in Lagos. Danas winning by 5-3. Nasarawa Amazons beat Remo Stars Ladies. The Remo Stars Ladies needed this to remain in contention for the top Super 6. But after losing this, Nasarawa Amazons is moving past them in that group. Ayindiame Queens and FC Robo Queens, this ended in a draw. And Sunshine Queens and Abia Angels, Sunshine winning by a lone goal. Let's look at the top 3 and the bottom 3. The top 3 from Group A, you have Bayelsa Queens. They've all played the same numbers of points. So Edo Queens have dropped to 3rd on 28 points. Bayelsa and Rivers on 30 points each after 12 games. But Bayelsa Queens topping based on goal difference of 20-17 for Rivers Angels, and losses, all of them have lost 2 games each, and for a draw, only Edo Queens have 1 draw, and for wins, 10 for both teams at 1st and 2nd, and 9 for Edo Queens are 3rd. Now, the bottom 3 have Ekiti Queens, Pacesetters, and Nigeria Rattles. No surprise for these teams, because Ekiti Queens, they've won 4, but Nigeria Rattles and Pacesetters Queens have won 1 game each so far, but for Nigeria Rattles, they've lost 10, and Pacesetters, they've lost 7, and the goal difference, well, for Nigeria Rattles, they're owing a lot, -23, and look at the points here. From 12 games, Nigeria Rattles just had 5, and you have Pacesetters Queens 6, so there's no hope for these teams actually are climbing out of here. Now, take a look at Group B, where FC Robo Queens, they are locked in here. They've been at the top of the league since the beginning of the season, and they're maintaining it. So they're locked in here for the Super 6. They've qualified already because you have just how many games left now? 4 games left in the NWFL for the season, the regular season to end. After 14 matches, 9 wins so far this season, 2 draws and 3 losses. You have Nassau Amazon, they moved down here, and Abia Angels also moving up. And Remo Stars ladies have dropped from this, and look at the numbers of wins for Abia and Nasarawa, 7 each, and they have 26 points and 24 each in this one. And look at the bottom 3 from Group B. You have Sunshine Queens after 14 games, 3 wins so far this season. Same numbers of wins for Confluence and Oshun Babes, but the losses, that's where you have more. 8 for Oshun Babes, 6 for Confluence, and 5 for Sunshine Queens. And look at the points, 15, 14, and 12. You have minus 14 in this one. So this group is a bit decent and tidy compared to what you have in Group A, where you have all the top teams, where you have Bayelsa and Rivers, and of course, you have Edo Queens. When you have those former champions, you understand that the other teams will just be shipping in goals, and that's what's happening in Group A. So, Austin, we have to go.
We have to go, Cecilia, and time is, taken away for Remo Stars ladies. I thought they were going to get something in that game against Nasarawa Amazons, but it didn't happen for them. It's still Boyogna 0, Aston Villa 2. The game is now in the 88th minute. I think it's going to end that way. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Bolaji, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to be here. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.